I asked the earlier question about how well they executed the thing about not recording. It's all on that camera. I asked you if you had an SD card. Alright, stop camera. Listen back to when it stopped.
No, the whole thing. The whole thing.
Wait, did you ever press record to begin with? No. Wait, what?
Hey everyone, and welcome to Movies Worth Seeing. I'm Michael Pictionary, joined by Denise, and Martin's praying to God. Funny, I actually asked Martin, are you gonna watch Black Adam for the podcast? And he was like, nah, I've got superhero fatigue. And then what does he tell me now? Oh, I watched Wakanda Forever. What the hell? I wanted to see how they would treat Chadwick Boseman. Anyway, this is not Black Panther 2. This is Black Adam.
You know, it's a movie I could have done without. I only admittedly watched it because my dad had expiring cinema vouchers, and he was like, "Hey, let's go watch Black Adam," and I'm like, "Okay, Dad, for you, that's for you and the fam."
And that's so good too, because I think DC's extended universe owes its entire profits to movie vouchers, because that's the only time I've ever watched these damn movies is when I have a lot of movie vouchers that are about to expire. Yes, Martin? Are you still laughing at the fact that I forgot to press record for a whole hour that we were talking about this shitty movie, and now we have to talk about it again? Yes, but that's one good thing. We caught it all on camera, but our podcast listeners won't enjoy listening to the shitty audio.
Web Extra.
Anywho, Denise.
Yes.
Denise. You actually wanted to walk out of this movie.
Oh, yes. And I've never felt that way before about any film. I mean, Jurassic Park Dominion, I only stayed there because we were seeing in 4D, so I was literally strapped in. But, you know...
Oh, you had a seatbelt.
Yeah, actually, I did have a seatbelt.
What do you predict, Martin, would happen in this film?
I'm gonna guess there'll be a very generic villain that's set up just for this one movie, and then there's gonna be some big CGI battle where there's a giant beam to the sky, and then there's just CGI destruction. Oh, am I hitting the nail on the head?
100%!
Oh.
All points to Martin. You just predicted the entire ending of Black Adam.
Oh, okay.
Does that make Martin Dr. Fate?
Ooh!
Oh, dear.
Or should we say Doctor Strange? Dr. Fate is Doctor Strange. I mean, it sucks that Dr. Fate came first in the comics, but he is just stuck doing all of Doctor Strange's shit.
The arguments that fans make that, oh, but Dr. Fate came first in the comics, that argument is kind of, dismissible, because we're talking about live-action depiction, and Doctor Strange came out 6 years ago, which, wow, 2016 was 6 years ago. So it's a sort of been there, done that.
Having said that, I prefer... Pierce Brosnan does something... I don't know. I just find Pierce Brosnan more awesome.
Actually, I remember going into the film, Pierce Brosnan was my saving grace. I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy Pierce Brosnan's performance. I know I will.
You know why? Because I think he says all these lines of dialogue that no actor would portray and make it believable, but he manages to. Do you want to be a hero or do you not? Lines of dialogue that are really lame like that. But when Brosnan says it, it sounds awesome.
As for the other members of the JSA, this is a live action debut. How do they depict the chemistry between the 4 team members? Is it does it come across natural? And I ask because it's I don't remember that 2 decades ago what the perception of was with big superhero team-ups with the X-Men, when they have an ensemble cast and stuff from the get-go, rather than nowadays when we expect each individual solo superhero origin movies to set up the Avengers gathered together kind of movie. So in this being their first live-action debut, how well portrayed or not well portrayed is their chemistry with each other?
You know, I think that Hawkman and Dr. Fate have good chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Purely because of the actors, not because of the script. The script gives them nothing. The script just legit says, you guys are friends. And the actors are like, I will save you. They're putting every little bit into every bit of dialogue they say. Yeah. Remember back in Nam when you saved me? And I'm like, shit, man. There's a whole relationship here.
Curious question: if there was a solo Dr. Fate and Dr. Hawkman, movie prior to this that actually showed these events in place, would it make their cheesy dialogues in this movie all the more believable now? Like they're bromancing.
First of all, Hawkman hasn't gotten his doctorate yet, Martin.
Okay.
You said Dr. Hawkman. I was like,
Did I?
Yes, an opportunity to make fun of Martin.
Rewind that. Did I say that? If there was a solo Dr. Fate and Dr. Hawkman.
Anyway, yes, once Hawkman does get his doctorate, that can be a whole film. Like Hawkman goes to get his medical degree. That'd be a great.
I'd watch that. I'd much prefer to watch that.
I probably shouldn't say that because Hollywood's going to be like, oh my God, we should make a prequel about that.
Note that down!
I could see the poster now for Dr. Fate's spin-off. How did Dr. Fate find his doctorate and put it on his wall? Where did he get the degree? Which medical school did
Okay,
he
you're
go?
taking the piss out of me now, okay? Let's just go to my original question.
All right, what was the original question?
Does their performance really sell their bromance? And that they have a past history that we didn't see on screen?
Not really. It feels
Not
like
really?
the actors are clinging for scraps because there's not enough there. There's not enough scenes there because this movie tries to juggle 10 million characters when all it really should be focusing on is Black Adam. What do you think the main problem is with Black Adam, Denise?
It's trying to accomplish so many things at once that it can only do so on a really superficial level. And so I think we see that come across in like the dialogue, in some of the character kind of arcs, because a lot of them don't really have an arc. Or if something happens, other characters just explain like what happens or what their thoughts are, and it's not even in the performance kind of thing.
They don't give Black Adam a chance to show that he's in some kind of conflict about being a hero or a villain. They just kind of have him beat the shit out of bad guys really well, I will admit, but he's just beating the shit out of bad guys. By the end of the movie, they just say, I guess he's a bad guy, but he just saved the world. So I don't get it. Then Superman comes in for his fucking post-credit scene, and we're all meant to be just like jerking off to the fact that Henry Cavill was back as Superman. Well, Black Adam, I guess we'll be fighting at some point in the sequel. And I'm like, he hasn't done anything to be a threat to Superman.
Superman should be like happy and giddy that there's another superpowered being on planet Earth just like him. He can finally share his pain, the pain of his existence. That everything's like a cardboard. I have to be so careful with the world around me.
Exactly. They should be measuring each other's dicks, not just being like, Black Adam, I'm gonna imprison you at some point because you've been very naughty. you haven't been good. What did he do again? What did he? He killed some bad guys. Don't we all do that? That's what I did. I snapped a dude's neck in the first movie that I was in.
Yeah, tell me, Superman, in your infinite wisdom, have you ever not killed people? I thought so.
Exactly. Imagine, wouldn't it have been great if Black Adam had said that to him in the post-credits?
Some of the great villain moments are when they point out the hypocrisy of the hero. And that would have been somewhat of a saving grace had he maybe made that commentary.
They try to do that, don't they, with Black Adam and Hawkman?
They do try.
But it's too, like, lame and, like, anyone could have written that dialogue. Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do. And guess what? I solved everything. I got rid of the gangs by killing them. Yeah, well, we don't do that. You don't kill them.
Cut to a compilation of Wonder Woman literally in World War I. Cut to a compilation of Batman literally shooting and impaling people. Cut to a compilation of Superman in Metropolis destroying buildings with the debris actually falling on people, as was shown in Batman v Superman opening sequence.
It's just so odd because like you think DC Universe, they're always kind of going for that angle of like, oh, all our heroes are kind of anti-heroes because they do have all this collateral damage and we're a bit darker and edgier than the MCU. So then coming out with Black Adam and then still going for the same concept but wrapping it up as though it's something new or something we should really care for and that there are real things at stake and that this is different is just really odd.
Yeah, like you could take any other character and make this exact same movie.
Yeah.
You could have done the same shit with Shazam. He's accidentally killing bad guys and someone has to mentor him and be like, you don't kill bad guys. You're a hero. I'm not a hero. I'm a boy. It would have been the same shit.
Exactly.
But because it's The Rock, it's different.
Had this movie come out a decade plus ago, would this have been like a jaw-dropping, wow, this is like the most amazing thing I've ever seen kind of movie when superhero movies were like rare once in a blue moon affair?
It would be slightly above average.
Mm.
Probably a 7 or a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But in this climate, when we have like The Boys and like a whole history, a catalog of like MCU movies, like Endgames and stuff, it's like we've sort of like seen it all and experienced all the hero's journey kind of variants that they could have. And like where they have like big spectacular CGI battles and stuff. And we talked about this before the cameras were rolling. It's just like we're just bored by spectacles. It's like, yeah, this would by alone objectively in isolation, if this existed in a vacuum, this would be, like a spectacular thing. Like, wow, Avatar, look at this amazing CGI. But in the decade that has passed with all these other movies that's come out, it's like, oh, that's a great spectacle ending, giant beam to the sky. And it's like, oh, there's another one. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't watch Black Adam, but then I was a hypocrite and watched Black Panther.
That's like saying I'm not going to watch any more Marvel movies. I'm not watching any more. I'm not going to watch Ant-Man. And then you watch Captain Marvel. Yeah. It's like it's even worse.
But to my point, it's like I don't want to just be wowed by another thing that's like, predictable. It's like I know they're going to end in a CGI battle. I'm sure I'll have a great time watching it, but it's like I've already had that wow factor sort of like distilled for me.
Well, that's why this movie had a clear kind of opportunity. It had multiple opportunities to end in a much more interesting place. Don't you agree,
yes.
Denise?
Oh my gosh. I think we were saying before how like if they just killed the kid, like in that one scene where it's like, is he going to die? Is he going to make it in time to save him? If they killed him and then like Black Adam got to feel those real stakes of like, oh my God, this is the cost of me getting fueled by my rage and everything. Yeah. He has a real kind of moral decision to make. And then that's why he, gives himself up or, something else. It could end right there. And that'll be so much more satisfying. Exactly. It's like, he's a villain.
I don't know. They nailed it with Joker, but for some reason we can't get that concept again of like watching someone become a villain.
Yeah, like the Joker, you see little moments, like little incidents, little unlucky moments where he was like, he got the boots from society. It's all these things that accumulate, and then the final turning point where one final thing to make him snap, then that transition into just fully turning to the dark side makes sense.
Yeah,
but so I'm getting the vibe that with Black Adam, they don't plant any seeds, that they don't have that accumulation effect.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like they're too afraid to sometimes skew completely that direction. And I partially wonder if that's to do with, just the world climate at the moment. We've come out of pandemic, but there's still a lot of stuff happening and, a lot of fear and anxiety going around. I wonder if that's, being reflected on some of these creative decisions where they're like, you know what, people are already surrounded by all this doom and gloom. Let's always skew towards safer endings and safer things.
You know what I think it is?
Yeah.
Money. Think about it. If Black Adam's a bad guy at the end of this movie, they can't make a Black Adam sequel. But if he's a hero, then Black Adam 2, which we've already heard they're going to make a Black Adam 2.
Oh, they are.
And if they do, I doubt they're going to end it with him being the critical villain. I feel like they'll still have him be a hero.
The contractual nature of Hollywood is like, that makes me really irritated when the actors themselves or the movie endings play coy with like, oh, is he or is he not villain or dead or alive or whatever. It's like, I know he's guaranteed to come back in the next movie to some capacities.
The funny thing with Black Adam is it's like they keep looking at the audience and saying, I bet you don't know whether he's a villain or not. We're playing with their minds. And it's like, I know exactly what you're doing. You're going to have him be a hero by the end. How would I know this? Maybe because Dr. Fate has said 10 million times, you're a hero, damn it. He sounds like, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard.
It really does.
Having said that, on the positive note, at least this movie delivered in the action.
Okay. Is all the action good, or just like most of it, or like some,
like
when that chick throws the pipe things at?
Oh, that was
like
a great moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When people ask like, what about Cyclone? What was her role? I'm just gonna say to throw pipes at Black Adam and circle him with the pipes.
They all miss.
They all miss, and he's looking at the pipes and just like
menacingly.
Are you serious? That's it? I legit cooked a guy to crisp
I remember actually when Cyclone first used her powers, my first thought was literally, there's diversity and inclusion, because she was literally like the pride flag. That's what I thought, because of all the beautiful colors. And I was like, oh, that's beautiful. But I also thought like, is this also partially virtue signaling?
I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
virtue signaling because of the way she was interacting with Atom Smasher. They weren't presenting her in a way where, she has to undermine and be really smug and undermine all the male characters.
She can
That's true.
bench press
They could've-
every other male members of the
They
JSA.
could have gone that direction
Exactly.
and they didn't.
They didn't have this weird moment where everyone was like, Cyclone is actually the chosen one, and she's the only one that can defeat Black Adam, and none of us can at all. We're all wimps.
Her powers, I don't know.
They're pretty shit powers.
They're pretty shitty.
But then again, Atom Smasher has shit powers too. He gets big, and every time he gets big, he's like, "Oh, what am I doing? I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this."
I can't remember. Could he get small as well?
No,
Yeah.
he can only get bigger.
That's kind of useless.
He's the exact opposite of Ant-Man.
Ant-Man can also get big, so it's like he's just the knockoff Ant-Man discounted. He's the
So there's
So-
two
so-
instances of been there, done
Kmart
that, of like
Ant-Man.
familiarity and been there, done that. Doctor Strange, Doctor Fate, and Atom Smasher, and
I
Ant-Man.
mean,
so, you
they
know.
also ride a jet that comes out of what looks like.
X-Men Mansion.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I thought
that's
too.
the exact first thought.
If you're gonna take something that's familiar, just give it that twist. Give it the shock ending.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, there was a time when I was like 10 years old where the beam to the sky blew my mind.
Jaw dropping.
But now it's like, oh yeah, here we go. Final act that goes for half an hour longer than it should. Pointless mid-credits scene that I could have watched on YouTube.
The Stinger.
The stinger. This movie didn't need a villain. It had Black Adam. Black Adam should be the villain.
Oh, so like the villain of the villain isn't a good guy?
The villain of my villain is actually my friend. That's, that's essentially what they went for. But if you want to see The Rock play a bad guy, just watch 2003 WWE. I was actually really disappointed that Black Adam doesn't rock bottom anyone.
He never throws in like, it doesn't matter a line to any, like to Hulkman.
That would have been the best.
Like the Hulk.
I'm sorry. What is your name? And he's like, my name is her. It doesn't matter what you say. Well, really,
Why shouldn't I kill people? Well, because it doesn't matter. I do it my way.
it doesn't matter if the critics hate us. I think we covered everything that we said an hour prior when the audio wasn't recording.
Yeah, web extra.
Final words. Martin, do you think that you made the right choice seeing Wakanda Forever instead of Black Adam based on me and Denise's chats?
Like, well, I'll put it this way. I watched like Black Panther knowing it was kind of like a hypocritical choice, but mainly because of brand familiarity and also wanting to cleanse my palate of after watching Thor Love and Thunder, and also wanting to see how they adapt real world death of their main cast into the material they had rewritten. Like, at least it's not like a goat screaming every 5 seconds thing. I wanted an actual like serious take on the Marvel lore. But despite my hypocrisy, I would say it's like I wouldn't have otherwise watched either of the Blacks movie purely because I'm bored by spectacle.
Okay,
So, yeah.
battery's running out. Denise, what's your final words?
That's it. Silence. I have no final words. My brain has gone into delirium. Yeah, I could have done without watching this film.
Without the voucher, would you have watched it?
No. I had no interest, like zero.
That was a fast no.
Exactly. And it's just, yeah, it's the fatigue. It's everything. And with this film, I at least thought as well, like, oh, maybe seeing The Rock as The Rock, that's at least entertaining. But it was like he was trying to do character work without having the real pathos to really get there and have something meaningful, I felt. So then it was like, oh, okay, well, then I can't even enjoy the fun of The Rock being The Rock.
Oh, so you think if this was the Rock that we see in like every other movie,
Yeah,
that would have
Black Adam would have at least had some charisma, a little something besides just being kind of deadpan serious the whole time and having like quite a flat feeling.
Stoic, yeah.
Yeah,
We needed the Rock from Doom, that over-the-top bad guy. Who's like, we kill them all. We kill women, children. We kill them all. Denise, would you rather watch 2 hours of The Rock wrestling or Black Adam again?
No, I'd watch the wrestling. I would definitely watch the wrestling.
So would I.
Yeah.
You know what you just failed to do? You missed the perfect opportunity to do like a that it doesn't matter what you think moment to Denise. But you know, just as a punchline.
What do you mean?
Like you ask.
It doesn't matter what you think.
There you go.
All right, guys,
did
that's it. Like, share, and subscribe or whatever's to the video, to the YouTube channel. Give us some love on the podcast, or don't. Whatever.
Yep.
Cool.
Especially when we remember to record them or press the record button.
Yeah, we did this twice, guys. Please show some love. Even though it was my fault that I forgot to record.
I'm smiling through the pain. We made so many good points in that discussion.
It's all good. We did well, guys. We did well.
Focus on the positive.
Just look at the smile. Ignore the tears.
All right, cool. See you guys.
Faces.